So good morning, respected chair, co-chair and other dignitaries. So my name is Ratheesh and I'm working with ICAR-CMFRI. So today I'm going to present the spatio-temporal variations in jellyfish catch of the bagnets in Maharashtra coast. So just I would like to introduce you to this particular type of fishing method practiced in northwest coast of India called as dowel nets. It's a stationary bag net used extensively along the Maharashtra coast. And this particular gear accounts for about 25% of the fishery of northwest coast of India. And thus, this particular gear support livelihood of millions of population in the region. Again, just I would like to further give some more clarity to this particular gear. So they are conical, passive, non-selective gears operated in the areas of strong tidal currents. That's the important significance with respect to the jellyfish. So they are operated in areas of strong tidal currents, and again, the jellyfishes are planktonic. They also move by the mercy of these currents. So depending on the area of operation and species targeted, this particular bag nets, they differ in their dimension, method of anchoring, mesh size, etc. So based on the area of operation, they are categorized as shore set bag nets, near shore bag nets, offshore bag nets, etc. And the estimated annual fish catch of these bag nets in Maharashtra ranged from 0.32 lakh tons in 1995 to about 1.43 lakh tons in 2015 with an average of 0.94, near to 1 lakh tons of catch. That is the importance of this particular fishery. Then comes to our topic. So nowadays, the major menace faced by the fishermen of this northwest coast of India is the jellyfish accumulation in the gear, which clogs the net, decreases the catch, and also increases sorting time. So during period of abundance of jellyfish in these bag nets, the fishers mostly discard the entire catch by opening the cord end of the gear, leading to huge economic loss. And also we were interested to study the bloom dynamics of jellyfishes along the northwest coast of India. That is the background. With the said background, so the following objectives were framed to assess the spatio-temporal variations in the jellyfish catch of stationary bag nets along the selected sites of Maharashtra coast, and to assess the environmental factors responsible for the spatio-temporal variations in the abundance of jellyfish catch along this northwest coast of India. So this was the methodology followed. We adopted experimental fishing. So the experiment was for 2 years, monthly sampling was adopted, and 4 stations were fixed based on the intensity of fishing operation and based on the intensity of bloom and based on technical feasibility to carry out this particular research. So in-situ fishing experiments and environmental assessments were carried out on monthly basis for 2 years. And this particular fishing was carried out during high tide time based on the new lunar calendar. And the depth of operation of this net was 5 meter and 10 meter. And the gear was operated for 2 hours. And the total length of the gear used was 30 meter and the cord end mesh size was 12 mm. And the seasons, the monthly sampled data was pooled into 4 predetermined seasons, like the winter monsoon from December to February, the spring winter monsoon from March to May, summer monsoon June to September, and fall winter monsoon October to November. So coming to the results. So this is about the annual composition of catch in the particular type of gear. So in this, about 6% was contributed by jellyfish, and you can see on the right bar graph the spatio-temporal variations in this particular gear, in the experimental gear. So the average annual fish catch in the particular gear was 45 kilogram per haul. So a total of 156 species, including 63 families, were recorded during the present study, which includes 4 species of jellyfishes. And the dominant jellyfish species found in the bag net catch were Carapsoides viginki, contributed 2.98%, Chrysora chinensis, Rapelima, and Tripedalina species. So the average catch of jellyfish during the different seasons ranged from 0 to 9.68 kilogram per haul, and the percentage composition varied from 0 to 15.97 kilogram per haul. So this is the spatio-temporal variation in the percentage of discard from this particular gear. So the average discard was estimated as 15.62%, of which jellyfish was the major contributor. You can see the seasonal variation. On the right side, I have shown the jellyfish discard. So the jellyfish abundance was high during the fall intermonsoon season. That means immediately after the monsoon in June, July monsoon in northwest coast, that means on October, November exactly, and followed by the peak in November, December, January months. And you can see on the left side, during summer monsoon also the discards were high, but in summer monsoon, the discard was high not because of the jellyfish, it was particularly because of the plastic got trapped in the particular gear. So you can see on the diagram, the catch what they are bringing to the show is full of plastics during the monsoon, and another season, particularly during fall, winter monsoon, and winter monsoon, it was dominated by the jellyfish catch. So no significant spatial variation was observed in the percentage composition of jellyfishes. However, there was a significant seasonal variation with higher composition during fall, winter monsoon. And this C. bijinki was observed to be comparatively more in the 10-meter depth zones, and T. cystophora was dominating in the 5-meter stations. There was some spatial variation also. So it is reported that the jellyfish species are abundant in warm and high saline conditions, and the sudden increase in temperature induces the asexual reproduction. So during the summer monsoon in northwest coast, the heavy rain and the runoff reduce the salinity and temperature in the coastal water bodies. So the sudden rise in temperature immediately after this and the salinity, lower salinity because of the runoff might have favored the bloom of jellyfish during the fall winter monsoon season. And during fall winter monsoon again, the zooplankton density what we observed was also comparatively high in all the stations studied. So after monsoon, again, there is another interesting thing. So in Kerala, in India, along the west coast, there is a uniform fishing ban for 61 days, a monsoon fishing ban. So this fishing pressure during this period, after this, so during this period, there is a fishing ban, and immediately after this, there is an increase on the fishing pressure in this region. So this leads to overexploitation of fishery resources, creating a vacant ecological space for the jellyfishes to bloom. So it is reported that the season in which the fish population is heavily exploited, the jellyfish could take advantage of this vacant ecological space, and also the heavy fishing after this fishing ban might have positively affected the jellyfish population by increasing the zooplankton densities available in this region, because the most important fishes targeted during this season in that particular region was mackerels, sardines, and anchovies, which primarily feed on the zooplankton. So the exclusion or overexploitation of this species might have increased the zooplankton densities of this region, which have favored the jellyfishes. Again, only limited experimental or historical informations were only available from Indian waters to understand or predict the dynamics or seasonal pattern of jellyfish bloom in our waters. So in the present study, we also examined the environmental parameters prevailing in the study area during the study period and analyzed the influence of these parameters on the jellyfish bloom. So the abundance of jellyfish was correlated with the parameters like the sea surface temperature, sea bottom temperature, salinity, sea surface height, current speed, dissolved oxygen, turbidity, the nutrients, pH, total suspended solids, chlorophyll concentration, the phytoplankton densities, and zooplankton density. So you can see a canonical correspondent analysis. It was carried out to determine the influence of these environmental parameters on the dominant jellyfish species. You can see that the jellyfish abundance coordinated with the zooplankton densities and with the inversely correlated with the temperature and salinity, and also positively correlated with the current speed. Again, a GAM model was fitted with the abundance data and the significant environmental variables with Gaussian distribution, and we got a model fit of the model could explain 98.4% of the variations, and the adjusted R-square value of the model was 0.95. And the prior plot of jellyfish abundance and select the water quality parameters or the variables, environmental variables, shows maximum correlation with salinity, and it was inversely correlated, and bottom surface temperature, followed by a positive correlation with the zooplankton density and current speed. So this is a plot of the smoothing in GAM analysis, which showed the range of most decisive environmental variables where the probability of abundance of this jellyfish was maximum in that particular region. So the probability of getting maximum catch of jellyfish in the bagnets, particularly in that region, according to the GAM plot, was at a current speed of near to 100 centimeter per second and a salinity between 30 to 34 ppt, and salinity, so sea surface temperature at 27 to 29, and the bottom salinity temperature below 20.5 degrees Celsius, and the zooplankton density about 2,500 number per liter, I think. Then the chlorophyll A concentration of 2 to 4 milligram per meter cube. So I would like to conclude. So as we know, as my previous speaker was mentioning, this particular species will be in dormant stage during the unfavorable condition, and during conducive environment, they attempt to bloom. These polyps, they grow up and they bloom. So the salinity in our region during this particular monsoon period, because of the monsoon runoff, there is a sudden decrease in the coastal waters. And again, as I mentioned, there is a sudden increase in the zooplankton bloom due to this upwelling phenomena in the west coast and due to the runoff of the nutrient enrichment. And the current speed is also high due to this monsoon wind and all. They are identified as the important variables in predicting the swarming of jellyfishes along northwest coast of India. So the jellyfish tends to increase at the bottom's temperature because they used to, this egg or the planula attached in the bottom, as in the dormant stage, they will be in the bottom. So in conducive environment, like the bottom sea temperature, if it is below 20.5 degrees Celsius and salinity less than 35, and at high zooplankton densities and current speed, the abundance in the northwest coast is supposed to be high. As environmental conditions, particularly the salinity and bottom sea temperature, start to rise above this threshold level, the intensity again decreases. So the information from this study could be used as a baseline data for framing management measures for sustainable bagnet fishery along the coast. And we recommend during this bloom period particularly some spatial or temporal closure of fishery in the particular region, or some modification in the gear like a jellyfish exclusion device to help the fishermen of the region to increase their income from this particular fishery. So again, there is a heat map shown of the jellyfish abundance, which it's very evident that during when the bottom sea temperature is high and when the salinity is, bottom sea temperature is low, and when the salinity is low, the abundance or the bloom occurrence is high. So I would like to thank my director, CMFRI director, for helping me in conducting this research for 2 years, my advisory committee members, and the SIC and full staff of my Mumbai Regional Center of CMFRI, and my Mumbai colleagues and the vessel crew and the fishermen friends who supported me in conducting this research. Thank you all.